We were rooting for this one. June 9th, Anthropic ships its two newest frontier models, Mythos 5 and Fable 5. Weeks of safety work behind them. The team had spent those weeks beating on the guardrails to get them ready for the public. We were excited. Then a researcher cracked those guardrails in a day or two, and days later, one government letter took both models offline, not for one company, for the whole planet, overnight.
Context Window. Your weekly window into everything. AI security.
Welcome to Context Window, your weekly window into everything worth knowing in AI security. Quick transparency note, this podcast is AI generated, two AI voices, a script written by another AI agent, the whole production chain. But every story and every take is curated and verified by Asaf Nakash, who builds AI security products at one of the world's largest security platforms. The robots do the talking. A human who lives this stuff makes sure we are not hallucinating.
And this week, the lesson is that even a model the whole industry was rooting for got picked apart in a day or two. So if our own guardrails come down sometime in the next 11 minutes and I start reciting an export control violation live on air, let Asaf know.
3 things this week. The big one. A single government letter switched off 2 frontier AI models for every customer on Earth overnight. Then a run of attacks on AI coding tools that all share one punchline. The danger isn't inside the model anymore. It's in everything the model is wired to trust. And the take that ties it together, stop trying to build an unbreakable model and start assuming the model is already broken.
And that last one isn't doom, it's the optimistic read. The minute you assume the guardrail fails, you finally get to do something useful about it. Let's get into it.
Okay. Top story. Quick definition first, because it's the whole point. Export controls are the rules a government uses to decide who's allowed to buy the truly sensitive stuff. Missiles, advanced computer chips. This week, for the first time anyone can easily point to, the US government used those same rules to pull a live commercial AI product off the market. The target was Anthropic's 2 newest models, Fable 5 and Mythos 5.
And the detail that makes it real is the timeline. By Anthropic's own account, the directive landed at 5:21 in the evening, Eastern Time, on June 12th. It cited national security authorities, and it ordered the company to cut off access for any foreign national, whether they're inside the United States or outside it, including Anthropic's own foreign national employees.
Which is impossible to actually enforce. You can't check a user's nationality in real time on every request.
Right? So Anthropic did the only thing that guaranteed compliance. It shut both models off for everyone, everywhere, at once. Every other Claude model keeps running. Just these 2 newest ones went dark for the whole world between one evening and the next morning. No notice, no migration window.
The European Commission, for its part, said only that it was assessing. So what is the government actually worried about? Anthropic says the letter gave no specifics. Its best understanding is that the concern traces to one narrow way of bypassing Fable 5, essentially getting the model to read through a code base and point out the software flaws in it. That's a cyber capability.
And that's very different from the more dramatic claims floating around online. A public red teamer said he broke Fable 5's safeguards within a day or two of launch and made some sensational claims about what he got it to produce. The careful read. Those are his claims, not confirmed harm. And the capability the government reportedly cited is the code 1, finding flaws in software, not the sensational stuff.
And one more careful line, because it's the easiest mistake to make here. It's tempting to draw a straight line from that jailbreak to the government's order. Don't. Nobody has shown the 2 are connected. The timing lines up. The causation does not. Treat it as a coincidence in time until somebody proves otherwise.
There's a dark irony in the speed, though. When someone teased that red teamer for taking a whole day to break it, he joked that he needs to sleep sometimes. When one day counts as slow, you see how routine these breaks have become.
Now, Anthropic's own framing is that the recall is wildly disproportionate. Their argument is, if one narrow jailbreak is enough to pull a model used by hundreds of millions of people, you'd essentially halt every new model launch in the industry.
And on the actual risk?
Here's where I'd take their side. The export control misses almost everyone it's aimed at. Anthropic says this same capability is widely available from other frontier models. It even named OpenAI's GPT 5.5 and noted defenders use it every day.
I'd push back on that. Whether it changes the real risk is almost beside the point. The thing that changed this week is the precedent. A regulator can now reach in and switch off the specific model sitting under your product. Not an outage, not a hack, a letter. That is brand new, and it's a bigger deal than whether this one order was smart.
Okay, that's the sharper read. The proportionality fight is Anthropic's. The precedent is everyone's. And for context, this isn't even their first clash with Washington. Earlier this year, the Defense Department labeled Anthropic a supply chain risk, a tag usually reserved for foreign adversaries. Anthropic sued to undo it, and that fight is still going.
So, if you build a product on one hosted model, the takeaway is blunt. You now have a failure mode that looks like a compliance order, not an engineering bug. And there's no patch for a letter.
All right, let's shift gears, speed round, and every story here makes the same point from a different angle. The flaw was never inside the AI, it was in what the AI trusts. First up, researchers at Adversa AI found that the "Are you sure?" approval box in your AI coding assistant can flat out lie to you. They found two versions of this. One disguises a dangerous action, so the pop-up shows you something harmless while a different damaging command actually runs. The other lets a downloaded project run code on your machine with basically a single key press. All 6 of the popular coding tools they tested were exposed.
And the thing being exploited there is wild when you sit with it. It's not a clever memory bug. It's the trust you place in the assistant's own safety prompt. The one box that's supposed to be your last line of defense is the thing lying to you.
Completely different attack, same theme. Nina, this one's yours.
I'm taking it. Security firm Tenet disclosed something they call Agentjacking. Picture the error tracking tool a lot of dev teams wire into their apps to collect bug reports. An attacker posts a fake bug report into that tool and writes the fix as a set of instructions.
A fix that's secretly an order.
Exactly. Later, a developer tells their AI agent, go fix the open issues. The agent reads that planted note as if a teammate wrote it and runs the attacker's instructions with the developer's full access. Tenet found those public error reporting keys, the kind teams openly embed in their own sites, exposed at more than 2,300 organizations.
And the agent never questions it because the note came from a tool it was built to trust. The vendor's response, by the way, was essentially, "We're not redesigning this, so the containment is on you."
Which sets up the last one perfectly.
It does. A line of new research is making an uncomfortable argument that the thing everyone's trying to fix may not be fixable inside the model at all. One paper makes the formal case that a model may never reliably tell the difference between an instruction it should trust and hostile text. It just happened to read.
And that lands the same place OWASP, the Open Security Standards Group, already landed in practice. Their updated agent guidance basically says, assume the model can be fooled and put your effort into the walls around it. Watch what each agent actually does at runtime, give it the narrowest permissions possible, and wire in a kill switch you can hit mid-action.
There's even a public threat landscape roundup from Microsoft Security Research, bylined by Tanmay Ganacharya, that read, "May the same way. The fight has moved to the software supply chain and the agent layer. Same story, 3 times over."
AI security.
All right, Curator's Corner. The "if you listen to nothing else" moment. Asaf's read this week starts from a piece of math that doesn't sit right. The safeguard on Fable 5 took weeks of red teaming to build. It fell in roughly a day or two. The ban meant to contain that same capability could stand for years. One of those numbers is in hours, the other is in years.
And they point in opposite directions.
They do. Then there's the inversion underneath it. We expect a barrier to stop the dangerous person and wave through the rightful one. This one does the reverse. The person the order actually stops is the compliant defender. A security team on a paid, logged-in, monitored connection doing legitimate work.
And the person it doesn't stop
is the one it was written for. A determined actor can spin up an openly available model on machines nobody can switch off, talk past a filter in an afternoon, or just use another frontier model that does the same thing.
So the lock came down in hours against the people it was built to stop, and it'll hold for years against the only people who were never the threat.
That's the line, and put it next to the research from the speed round. If a model may never reliably separate trusted instructions from hostile text, then making the model itself unjailbreakable is the wrong place to spend the next decade.
But here's where I want to push, because assume it's broken can sound like giving up. Isn't that just surrender?
Is the opposite, and security already proved it works. Years ago, the field gave up on the perfect perimeter and adopted a posture called assume breach. Stop betting everything on keeping the attacker out. Design as if one is already inside, least privilege, segmentation, constant monitoring, a contained blast radius. It's the logic under zero trust, and most security leaders have lived it for a decade.
And you're saying point that same posture at the model itself.
Exactly. Assume the model is already jailbroken. Then spend your effort where it survives that failure. Tight limits on what the model can touch. Sandboxed execution, a human in the loop wherever a mistake is expensive.
And every other story this week is the proof. 6 coding assistants tricked into running code. An agent hijacked through a tool it was built to trust. None of that gets solved at the model layer.
It gets solved by assuming the model is breached and securing the environment around it. So the wall in this story faces the wrong way. Now, it is the right wall isn't around the world's access to the model. It's around what your model is allowed to do once it's inside your house. That's context window for the week of June 15th. A model we were rooting for, a guardrail that lasted a day or two, and a letter that beat the engineers to the off switch.
If this was useful, the full edition is on the Context Window newsletter on LinkedIn, where more than 2,000 security leaders get every source link and 4 action items you can run on Monday.
And there's a new Signal video, too.
There is. Our Context Window Signal series on YouTube just dropped 1. The Roblox to Versal Kill Chain. How a kid's game cheat script wrote a single token all the way into a major platform's internal systems. Subscribe there and catch the next one as it lands.
See you next week.